Today I'm going to be ranking every single episode of Regular Show Season 7 from worst to best. Season 7 of Regular Show is really that season where it's like, okay, let's just progress a bunch of our characters and get them a bunch of character arcs to make them finalized for the grand finale in Season 8. And don't get me wrong, there are a couple banger episodes in here. I love Rigby's arc throughout the entire season. We get a lot of good stuff, but then some of the episodes are honestly just bottom of the barrel, trash that you just don't even want to rewatch. So I'm going to look at the comedy, the story, the action, every single aspect of every single episode, giving each episode plenty of time to shine, and ranking them all from worst to best. And if you like videos just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. I got more Regular Show content on the way at all times, and I'm also making content on Adventure Time, Gumball, movies, shows, SpongeBob, all of this good content that you don't want to miss. And in case you're wondering, I also have a Discord now. The link will be in the description down below, where you can come there and just hang out, talk about cartoons, give your opinions, ask me questions, give me video ideas, just anything you want to do. It's a very nice chill place to hang out with other people who love nostalgia. So yeah, you want to be there. And without further ado, let's rank every single episode of Regular Show Season 7 from worst to best.
What? It's a cat video, Benson. Cat?
And starting off this list at number 36, it has to be one of the most uncomfortable episodes of Regular Show to watch, and that's going to be cat videos. There's just something about this episode that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why. It just feels so off. The episode's all about how Benson gets addicted to watching cat videos because Mordecai and Rigby put him on that shit, and he's all like, they put cat videos on the internet, because he's been living under a rock for his entire life, and he gets addicted to it, staying up all night.
Whoa! When did they start making these?
A long time ago, Benson.
He loves this one cat named Curmudgeon Cat. He just loves all of these cats. He's even neglecting his real world cat, and he eventually goes down to the studio to meet these cats, and that's when he gets kidnapped by the villain for the episode, Masterson, who is just a guy that likes to put real people into mocap suits and force them to do kitty things, and he starts doing this.
Bat the mouse! Bat the mouse!
Benson forgets who he is, he becomes deranged and believes that he is a cat. Mordecai and Rigby have to go there, save him, help him out. They have to do all these like cat shenanigans, like fight a vacuum cleaner, a toddler, yeah, just stuff like that. And they eventually break into Masterson's office, punch him in the face, and it's revealed that he's also a cat.
Twist. Ending.
Cut to black. That's a wrap, people.
Ah, that twist came out of nowhere.
And I really like that they just like also hate that twist, like Mordecai and Rigby also hate that the fact that he's a cat. But all of this sounds fine, like as a premise, like it sounds like it'd be a decent episode of Regular Show, but just something about it is just so uncomfortable to watch. I don't know if it's watching Benson like get the addiction initially and then start acting like a cat and like doing all these cat things thinking that he actually is a cat, or if it's just Masterson himself and the fact that he is a cat and he's making other people act like cats. I don't know what's so off-putting about this episode, but it definitely just makes me uncomfortable, and I don't really ever seek rewatching this one. The only part of the episode where I actually gave a little bit of a chuckle is when Masterson is like sitting up in his office like talking about his like masterpiece work here, and he's like, I'm the kitty Tarantino, baby, I'm the feline Fellini, and just saying a bunch of director names.
I'm the feline Fellini, baby!
I actually thought that was pretty funny, but everything else is just really hard to watch. That's why I'm gonna put it all the way at the bottom here.
I just want to live in the moment.
Take it easy on relationships right now. It's the best thing for the both of us.
And coming in at number 35, it's going to be the episode Just Friends. And if you're into this episode, that's fine. I actually think the episode as a premise, it's whatever. I mean, it's entertaining, I guess. The episode is all about Mordecai and Margaret going on a date together, but it's not a date. It's a friend date, but Margaret really wants Mordecai because he's really into that thick blue jay. She needs him so bad. Mordecai doesn't want it to happen, though, because of everything that just happened in the past 5 other seasons. So it's just them going on a bunch of, like, couples things, and Mordecai keeps trying to avoid it, and eventually they end up at this hibachi restaurant where this guy shows them their future together if they were to get together tonight.
You marry me?
Yes.
Sweet! Our very own houseboat!
And they decide, oh, that's too much, let's just be friends, and it's fine, it's whatever. I guess it's good for Mordecai, it's good for Margaret that they're just gonna, you know, not have that drama anymore, not like seeking each other all the time. But the reason I hate this episode so much is because this is it. This is everything. After we watch Mordecai cheat on his girlfriend, after we get that sad sex episode where he spends the entire episode trying to get her back, after we have to watch him do that stupid-ass wedding, we get to watch all of this stuff with Mordecai's character just bombing over and over and over again, and this is the ultimate final relationship climax for his character. No, oh, I've learned from all my mistakes, and, like, I'm ready to be a better person. Just, no, I don't want to be with this girl that you just showed me my entire future with. I want to take it easy on relationships. Oh, that's great. That's so much character development after literally 60 episodes of him being a horrible person struggling with relationships. There's just never any moment of like closure for me that he actually became a better person, that he learned from all of his mistakes. I just feel like this episode being the, oh, Mordecai grew as a character and learned from all of his relationship mistakes because he doesn't want to be with Margaret. No, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like he's just sick of Margaret because he literally just went through so much over this one girl that he's finally ready to just chill out, and that's great for his character and all, but after watching all of those episodes with all of the relationship stuff, I wanted like a reflection from Mordecai where he decides that like, I've learned from all of this, I'm gonna grow from all of this, and it's made me a better person throughout all of my mistakes. It just never really felt like that. So I kind of hate this episode as a bias, like when you compare it to all of the other romance episodes and it being the final romance episode for Mordecai. But just overall, I mean, it's fine for what it is. If you like this episode, if it's your favorite, go for it. But for me, I hate it.
Chrissy happened, man. She dumped me, and she'll probably never talk to me again.
And coming in at number 34 is the episode Return of Party Horse. And you can make the argument that Party Horse is your favorite character in the entire show because he just has so much personality. He's just like, party, party, party. And that's all he does the entire episode. He's just like thirsty for partying all the time. And his first episode was fine, I guess. It was okay. I like that the principal Party Horse actually came to the planet and threatened to destroy the Earth. That at least gave it that regular show touch. But this episode, nothing happens the entire time. Party Horse comes back to the planet because his girlfriend's leaving him. Oh no. And he's just talking the entire time. They're just talking to him for 8 minutes. Nothing even remotely happens. He's just talking about like, oh, I should get Chrissy back. I want to get her back so bad. And they're just like, well, did you do this, this, and this? And he's like, no, should I have done that? And so, you know, so Party Horse just confesses that he parties too much, so they go to his planet and they just like go around to parties, but we don't actually get to see any of the partying. They're just saying that they're going to all these parties, and eventually he goes in this chamber that Principal Party Horse makes that sucks all the partying out of him, but Chrissy didn't want that. She just wanted him to take it down a notch, so he drinks a vial and he's back to being a party animal, and just nothing happens in this episode. Like, if you care about Party Horse as a person, then sure, it's probably your favorite episode ever.
Don't do me like this, Chrissy. We're a perfect match. With that body and these abs, we're the hottest couple on Party Horse planet.
But I don't care about this horse's struggling relationship if he's not going to give me some world-ending threat or a actually interesting episode. Because it's just 10 minutes of them talking about how he's a party animal. He gets rid of his party, and then it's all like, oh, I want your party back. That's it. Nothing happens. It's just such a boring nothing of an episode. Like, if you're gonna do the Return of Party Horse, why not make it something cool? Make him have to take, I don't know, a Spanish test or something. I have no idea. Make them go down to Mexico and they have to learn Spanish. Something like that. Something interesting. Don't just make him come back and do absolutely nothing.
Marry someone brilliant, preferably with several pants under his belt.
Patents.
Oh, patents.
And coming in at number 33, it's going to be the episode The Eileen Plan, and I'm specifically looking at this episode like by itself pretty much, because I mean, yes, is it good? It's the start of Rigby's progression, his character arc of season 7 of becoming a better person, but as an episode on its own, I mean, it's just kind of boring. There's just kind of not a whole lot happening. There's a lot of stuff progressing Rigby, like that's pretty much the main thing here, because Rigby learns about Eileen's plan and how she wanted to marry somebody rich and smart, and Rigby doesn't even have a high school diploma, so he just starts lying to her so that he could go back to high school.
Hey, dudes, let me rap to you about...
So he's lying about getting out of everything just so that he could keep going to classes. Eileen gets pissed about this, and Rigby eventually has to go on this caving trip. Eileen figures it out. They both go there. Eileen is super pissed at Rigby, and Rigby has to eventually confess that he doesn't have his diploma, that he's doing all this stuff to try to be good enough for Eileen.
I'm not just hanging out in a cave with teens for fun. I never graduated from high school.
Really?
We get this wholesome moment, and Rigby uses his geology knowledge, because he's taken his geology class, to escape the cave and carry Eileen out of there, and that's about it. That's the entire episode. Overall, it's fine. It's the beginning of Rigby's progression, but as an episode on its own, it's just kind of boring. Even the climax is literally just them falling into a cave. Rigby figures out that he could light thing with a geode, and they walk out of there. It's just some stuff for Rigby and Eileen's like relationship, and that's about it. Overall, it's just a dull episode. I still think that this episode needs to exist. I understand the importance of this this episode. It's very good for their characters, but as a whole, it's just kind of just nothing. It's just nothing to me. It's not something that I need to rewatch unless I'm like, oh, I need to like grab all that Rigby essence and just get in with Rigby's awesome, amazing character growth. Other than that, this is one that I could just skip and be perfectly fine.
And is hundreds of thousands of miles wide. Who is this giant magic woman?
A planet. He's talking about a planet.
And coming in at number 32 is going to be the episode Pops' Planet. And this episode specifically exists for one reason, just to set up the fact that Pops secretly has had powers this entire time and foreshadow season 8, because he's just staring up at this planet and he's just like, oh Lord, jolly good show. It's pink, it's beautiful, and it's all mine. That's what he was thinking as a child, and then he didn't get to see his planet for like 60 years. And then the planet is returning on this one park night, and so Mordecai and Rigby and Pops are all camping out, and Pops forgets the lens to his telescope, so they have to go to the observatory, and a bunch of shenanigans happen where this thing like pins everybody to the wall, and Pops is like, no! I have to see my planet! I've waited long enough! I need to see it right now! And he just starts using his powers, and everybody's just in shock, and he's able to see his planet. He's able to see Lollyland, he's hyped, he's pumped, and everybody else is just like, what was that?
What just happened?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's literally just a foreshadowing episode, and I mean, it's fine. It gets you a little bit hyped, makes you go, what was that? Why is this happening? It gets you a little bit pumped for what's going to go on in season 8, but as an episode on its own, it's kind of just a nothing burger. I mean, nothing really happens other than that one thing at the end. Everything else is just Pops talking about this planet. He's just oohing and gooshing over it because he's just like, oh, it's my beautiful planet, oh. And that's about it. That's the entire episode. That's why I'm going to rank it this low. It's just kind of just nothing but foreshadowing.
Margaret always gets the bad guy.
And coming in at number 31 is going to be the episode Local News Legend. And when you try to take a character like Margaret and give her a little bit of personality in her own episode, it doesn't really do a whole lot for me when I've spent the entire series hating on this stupid ass red bird. Yes, I am biased, okay? If you're going to comment on this video, oh, Margaret's so overdated, you're demonizing her, you're making her such a hellspawn. Yeah, it's because I don't like her as a character. I think she was using Mordecai up, and then she comes back into the series, makes Mordecai cheat on his girlfriend. Well, makes is debatable. It was both of their fault. And then is all like, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, I don't actually have a boyfriend. I just wanted to see you and CJ. I understand that she was like in threat of her life because CJ was overreacting to the situation. But right after that, you could have just been like, hey, Mordecai, I'm going to call you. I don't actually have a boyfriend. We don't need to go on a double date. You don't need to go that far, because CJ probably wouldn't have like tried to kill you if that was the situation. She would have been like, yeah, stay away from us, please. Yeah, it would have been a little bit better. So I'm not going to like this stupid character and you're going to give her an episode that's all about her. I don't really care, because this episode, nothing even really happens a lot. It's just Margaret's dull personality of, hi, I'm a reporter. I'm reporting things. I like reporting. I'm going to try and Marget the bad guy. And she just keeps going around trying to get all these like fresh news takes, and they all keep failing because the anonymous tipster is giving her false tips.
Hold it right there, swindlers. Margaret always gets the bad guy.
Margaret?
And eventually it's revealed that the anonymous tipster is another reporter, Jackie Carmichael. We get this actually pretty decent chase with Jackie Carmichael, who is revealed to be a robot sent from the future to destroy the news, and Margaret just barely escapes going off Chopper 6, and the car crashes and Jackie Carmichael dies, and that's the entire episode.
Margaret always gets the bad guy.
And this episode is fine, I guess. If you like Margaret, it's probably pretty good. But as a Margaret hater, I just don't enjoy it because, I don't know, it's just trying to give personality to a character that has never really had any personality in the first place. And her only personality trait here is, oh, I'm a news girl and I like reporting and I believe in the news. That's it. There's just nothing actually enjoyable about it. None of her jokes really land for me, and it's just kind of boring. That's why I'm going to rank it this low.
The cold air felt like death on my face!
And coming in at number 30 is going to be the episode Snow Tubing, and this episode is all about Eileen's crippling fear of snow tubing, because when she was just a wee lass, she had a terrifying accident where she was flung into the air and got a nasty scar.
The inertia worked against us! The cold air felt like death on my face!
except it's like the most minimalistic scar ever. But hey, everyone's feelings are valid, and she's very scared of snow tubing. But the only thing is Rigby really wants to go snow tubing with her like so bad, so he plans this whole trip on her day off to go up there, and the episode is basically just Eileen trying to stop them from going snow tubing, like drinking a bunch of water so she'll have to go to the bathroom, making them miss the wrong exit.
And these things go right through me. Hopefully I don't have to go to the bathroom again.
They eventually get there, and she picks a really crappy tube that breaks right away, and eventually they do get on the ski lift, and Rigby's taking her up, and she starts panicking and reveals her fear, and they actually get all the way to the top, and because this one guy's flirting with this girl, is like, you like how I make things keep it moving? Now watch me slow it down.
Let me show you how I slow things down.
He slows it down fully, and they're stuck on the top of the mountain, and the only way down, if they don't want to freeze up there all night, is to go down this double black diamond ski lift. And they just go down, they're snow tubing down, and Eileen has the most fun she's ever had. I actually enjoy the sequence a lot. I think it's a lot of fun with them just snow tubing down. We get a lot of cool visuals. That part of the episode was a lot of fun, and Eileen realizes that she loves snow tubing, and it's all great. It's a good happy ending for Eileen. She's pumped. Good enough. It was a fine episode for what it is. It's overall just a little bit boring. The first like 8 minutes don't really captivate me there. I mean, it's always good to have Eileen episodes. We gotta love Eileen episodes, but just nothing really happens for like the first 9 minutes. It's just Eileen being scared of snow tubing, and then the big reveal that she's afraid, and then it really kicks up when they actually go down the mountain snow tubing, but everything else is just kind of, it's okay. Not my favorite episode, that's for sure, but like, it's entertaining nonetheless. Like, I wouldn't skip this one.
You guys have been performing together for a while now. The fans must know. Do you like it?
Yeah.
And coming in at number 29, it's going to be the episode Lame Lockdown, and this episode is just honestly kind of forgettable. I mean, like, it's fine for the series. If you watch this episode, you'll be like, oh, that's some good stuff to know. But I honestly just missed this episode as a kid. I just don't think I saw it because, I mean, it was season 7 of regular show, and Cartoon Network was just like, we don't really care about this show as much as, like, Clarence and Teen Titans Go. Let's just not show commercials for it. So I missed this one, and honestly, because I missed it, maybe it just doesn't hit as hard. But, you know, on rewatch, it's fine, I guess. The episode is really just foreshadowing for they're ready to go into space, because the episode is all about Mordecai and Rigby being put on a 24-hour lockdown because Dr. Langer, the villain of season 7, doesn't want them going out, and Benson is being really strict about this. Pops helps Mordecai and Rigby sneak out anyway to go and see their favorite band, Mercury Heat. They go there, and they're just watching this interview with their favorite band, and Del Handlin, the interview reporter, is just asking the stupidest questions ever, and I actually enjoyed this part of the episode a lot because it's just kind of making fun of, like, news reporters asking stupid questions like, do you like singing? Really? Why do you like to sing when you're in a band?
You guys have been performing together for a while now. The fans must know. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Just stupid questions like that, so Mordecai and Rigby take over the interview and actually ask some questions that real fans would have, and the band just loves this, so they go up in the private jet. Benson is now tweaking because he realizes that they're gone. He's losing his shit, and I actually always enjoy Benson's crash outs. I think they're so funny.
Mordecai and Rigby!
But, like, that's the only thing that's enjoyable about this episode. We do get a really cool sequence with Mordecai and Rigby in the band flying on a jet, and Mordecai and Rigby have to parachute skydive in with their, like, flying suits. Skydive in, Dr. Langer finds them, Benson finds them, and Benson stands up for himself against Dr. Langer, and Dr. Langer's all like, they're ready. Oh, they're ready to go into space. They're so ready. It just is, like, a little bit of foreshadowing at the end. And this episode is fine. It's just kind of for the whole, like, Dome arc story. That's the only reason it exists. Everything else in the episode is honestly just fine. It's whatever. It's definitely not one that you need to watch, but if you're really invested in, like, the story leading up to when they go into space, then I would definitely watch it. But I mean, overall, it's just not really needed. It's just kind of a, this is an episode that exists.
You know who else is up to protocol? My monitor!
And at number 28, it's going to be the episode Cube Bros, and this episode is all about how Muscle Man is just such a hard worker doing all of the really hard jobs, and he's just so sick of it. So he decides that he's going to quit the park and go get a job in a cubicle to prove that he's smart, and they just love doing plots like this, like with Rigby quitting his job to prove himself. I think Mordecai does something similar to this. They just love doing plots where a character has to prove that they're, like, something that they're not. They have to prove that they're not just their main character trait. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but it's fine for what it is. Muscle Man goes to work in the cubicle, and he meets J.G. Quintel, like, literally, a physical drawn version of J.G. Quintel that I actually thought was hilarious.
Randy.
Andy!
Gil! We're the Cube Bros.
We're not your typical office drones.
And then another version of Rigby who is a human, and a version of High Five Ghost who is a human. It's just like the opposite of Mordecai, Rigby, and Fives, and they all think that Muscle Man is just stupid, and Muscle Man decides that he's going to stay up all night reading the books and getting smart, and just seeing Muscle Man with like slicked back hair and a tie and a suit, just looking pretty fresh, and he's all like, you know who else studies quantum something? My motherboard.
You know who else is up to protocol? My monitor!
I enjoyed that a lot, but everything else is just fine, and they see Muscle Man lift up these books, and they're like, oh, you're strong, man. So they decide that they're going to put Muscle Man in this hamster wheel to power the building because they're actually robots.
You sound like robots! Barclodes!
So Mordecai, Rigby, and High Five Ghost come to save the day, and they all have to escape there, blowing up the building and get out of there just in the nick of time after fighting those robots. It's a fine episode. I just feel like this type of plot has been done before in regular show, and it wasn't really an episode that was needed. It didn't develop Muscle Man's character at all, and like the self-contained story of Muscle Man wanting to prove himself and going into the cubicle, it's fine. We get a couple of good jokes from it, but nothing like groundbreaking that makes me go like, wow, that was an amazing episode. It's just kind of whatever.
Oh no! Do you realize what you've done? Me? What? That was Muscle Man's favorite and only shirt!
And coming in at number 27, it's going to be the episode Favorite Shirt, and one thing that I could definitely appreciate about this season is although they're not really giving High Five Ghost like his own episode, they are trying to include Muscle Man and High Five Ghost a lot, just in the main plot lines, just doing their own thing. They're actually giving High Five Ghost lines, and I could really appreciate that. This episode is all about how Muscle Man's going to take his siesta, his afternoon nap, and they just start fucking with him, just messing around with Muscle Man laying on this chair, playing with his belly, just squeezing him, taking off his shirt, and High Five Ghost is twirling it around his head, and he accidentally throws it into the shredder, and I really love his reaction here, where he just starts strangling Mordecai, like, why did you do that? It was you, man! It was you!
Oh no! Do you realize what you've done? Me? What? That was Muscle Man's favorite and only shirt!
And so they have to figure out a way to get Muscle Man a brand new shirt. They go to the store, but there aren't any there. So they have to get help from the Dome people. They sneak down into the labs, and they find a thing that could replicate material. So they put a little piece of Muscle Man's shirt in there, but it turns out that it had human hair in it, and Rigby being Rigby, he ignores the warning signs. So it creates a literal clothing version of Muscle Man that just starts going crazy. Just, it's basically Muscle Man if he like was even dumber and just starts trying to chase them, trying to kill them because they have the shirt and he needs that shirt, so they're driving away, and Rigby manages to tie a piece of the like cloth to it and with a bow and arrow of all things and shoot him, and he disintegrates. And they get the shirt back on Muscle Man, and that's pretty much the entire episode. It's fine for what it is. I think the end of it is really entertaining with like the shirt version of Muscle Man, the cotton version of Muscle Man, just chasing them all around. I actually thought that was pretty funny. I thought that version of Muscle Man was pretty funny with like his shrieking, but I feel like you only would really enjoy this episode if you like the Muscle Man crash outs a lot with him just freaking out, because the back half of this episode is just all of that with him just chasing him. We get a couple of good visuals, but I mean, overall, it's just a fine episode. I would definitely say it's entertaining, but it's just not one of regular show's best. It's just a pretty average episode for me. This is where I'm starting to get to like the middle of the road episodes.
Just wings? These wings might decide whether or not I get to go out with the girl of my dreams. Everything has to be perfect!
And coming in at number 26, it's going to be the episode Pam I Am, and Benson's getting a win here, baby. He's getting the ladies using that Riz to attract a dome worker named Pam. And he realizes that the only way that he could win her over, because he can't just, go on a normal casual date, is with wings. And this episode, it's going to rank a little bit lower because, nothing like crazy happens, but it's just enjoyable to watch Benson get a win. He goes to Wing Kingdom and he gets every single flavor of wings there so that he could go on this date with Pam.
Just wings? These wings might decide whether or not I get to go out with the girl of my dreams. Everything has to be perfect!
He meets up with her inside one of the dome labs, and we just get like this Willy Wonka-esque thing where they're eating a bunch of wings, they're having a good time, they're falling in love.
The smile is the fire that rocks my soul. Gonna remember it until I grow old.
And they start floating up to the ceiling because Benson actually turns on the gravity, and they're just like floating up and they start burping to lower themselves. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire episode. Dr. Langer shows up and is like, no dating till we're done with work, no dating, because he like is in love with Pam or whatever. And yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's good for what it is. It's just nice to see Benson get a win. That's why I'm ranking it up above some of the other episodes. But overall, nothing too crazy happens. I mean, it's just Benson and Pam having some wholesome, loving fun, and it's a regular show romance episode that doesn't overstay its welcome. I don't need like 20 episodes about Benson and Pam. Will they, won't they? It's fine for what it is. I enjoy it. It's okay. Definitely just a fine episode.
Dude, this is no way to live.
It's the only way to live.
And at number 25, it's going to be the episode Dumptown USA. And this episode is also just okay. The episode is all about how Rigby and Benson and all the park workers can't find Mordecai anywhere. And that's when Benson reveals that Mordecai has been taken to Dumptown USA, a place where you can go to just be away from everything after you get dumped.
Who? Patricia, who?
Lisa, who?
Woohoo! Audrey, who?
So Rigby has to go there, find Mordecai, and he's just living the trash life. He's just like, Rigby finally got dumped by Eileen, huh? I knew she couldn't take it for long. And he's just living the bum lifestyle. He just has to go get food, play his horrible saxophone. He's just not doing anything with his life because he's got dumped. So that means he could just, take a vacation from literally everything. And I think it's fine as a premise. I think it's okay. I think Dumptown USA as a place is actually pretty funny.
Dude, this is no way to live.
It's the only way to live.
But overall, I mean, it's just a okay episode. The episode ends with Rigby just being all like, Mordecai, this isn't you. This isn't you at all. And they just have to escape all of the other bums by running away on these, like, scooters. And we get this pretty cool escape.
Hold on!
They get out of there, they escape, and Mordecai returns to his life in the living. And it's fine. Nothing too great about it. I think what holds me back from ranking this episode even higher than this is simply just the fact that I don't think Mordecai should even be in Dumptown USA. He was the one who dumped CJ, basically. It was all his fault. He doesn't even have a right to be here. Yeah, it was CJ who was all like, yeah, we shouldn't be together or try anything or even be friends or talk at this point. But dude, everything that happened was entirely your fault. So why are you even here? Why are you even in Dumptown? If anyone deserves to be here, it's CJ. CJ, I mean, I don't think CJ would go to a place like this. This is definitely like Mordecai and Benson written all over it. It's their kind of place. But I don't think he deserves to be here. That's why I don't like it very much. As a episode, I think it's okay. I think it has a couple of funny moments here and there, especially just seeing Mordecai just live this bum lifestyle and all of Rigby's reactions. It's solid for what it is, but overall, it's just pretty mid.
But maybe that's the problem. I mean, we've had this job for I don't even know how long. I just wonder, is this it? Is this the best we can do?
And at number 24, it's going to be the episode Mailards Package, and this is another episode that just exists for one sole purpose that kind of ignores, like, what regular show is all supposed to be about, and that is the plot. Crazy things happening, because nothing crazy happens in this episode. The episode is all about, well, it has the opening of Mordecai flying an airline plane, because Mordecai has apparently been dreaming about being a pilot lately. And that's basically the entire premise of the episode.
Mordecai! 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 Hello!
The episode is all about Mordecai's, like, yearning desire to do something more important with his life, to have a bigger responsibility, because it's just slowly pointing to the fact that Mordecai can't do this forever. And that's what the episode's premise is about, because Mordecai and Rigby take on the responsibility of picking up a package for Mr. Maillard, because Mordecai wants to do it so bad to just show that he can handle a bigger responsibility, except they miss the first delivery window at his house, and they call Benson, and Benson's all like, "You guys missed it? How did you miss it?"
You missed it! All you had to do was sit there! You do that all day anyhow, so why can't you do it when I tell you to?
And it's all because they went to get a banh mi sandwich from a sandwich truck. That's why they missed it in the first place. And we just get a bunch of stuff with Mordecai and Rigby just walking around Maillard's mansion, just slacking off, honestly. And we get Mordecai and Rigby sitting up on a roof in suits of armor, drinking soda, and Mordecai's just like, what are we doing with our lives? Why are we doing this?
But maybe that's the problem. I mean, we've had this job for I don't even know how long. I just wonder, is this it? Is this the best we can do?
And they almost miss the delivery again. They rush over, they barely get it, and they manage to prove that they can handle a little bit of responsibility. And that's pretty much the entire episode. I do enjoy the episode because of the things that Mordecai is going through. I actually like to see his character like this. I think it's a good progression for his character to see him wondering what else his life can be, what more he could have in his life. I wish they took this direction for, like, Rigby's graduation day special, which instead of, like, hating on his friend for being better, Mordecai could see all of this happening and just realize that he needs to pursue bigger things in his life, that he needs to go after more important things in his life. I think they could have kept this arc going for the entire season instead of after this, everything is just a regression with his character, with him just getting more and more depressed that Rigby is doing so good. I wish they didn't take that approach and they just stuck to this episode, this formula of Mordecai just wanting more, wanting to go and do something else with his life, but instead they just kind of just ditched this entire episode and everything that it was about with Mordecai wanting more responsibility and just don't focus on that at all. And that's why I don't even know why this episode exists. Why would you just throw this in our face other than to make us wonder about, hey, the show's gonna be ending soon because Mordecai wants to leave the park? That's fine if you want to give us that, like, you know, foreshadowing that Mordecai wants to go and do something else, but then make other episodes where he at least hints at it instead of making him upsetty spaghetti at Rigby. Like, I don't enjoy that. I don't care about that. I want to see Mordecai actually want to change his character. That would have been much more enjoyable. Overall, the episode's fine. Nothing crazy really happens here. It's just some plot developments for Mordecai, some character developments for Mordecai that don't really lead anywhere until all the way at the end of the series.
Rigby is my friend.
I am Skips, and I have all the answers.
And at number 23 is going to be the episode Birthday Gift, and this episode is actually a lot of fun. I enjoy the concept of it. It's just Rigby keeps giving horrible birthday gifts to Mordecai, like actually horrendous ones.
Yo, it's your birthday. I got you a present. Yo, it's your birthday. I got the best present. Yeah.
So Rigby wants to go out of his way to make a video game for Mordecai to show him that he cares. And he meets this guy, Zaxxon, who got kicked out of this video game company because he had an idea to like make it so everybody could make their own game. And he decided to prove them wrong and actually make a device that you can make your own game. And I actually enjoy Zaxxon a lot. I think he's a funny character. I enjoy him. I wish we got to see more of him, to be honest, because he's just such a funny character.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there.
But I felt your presence.
And then we get all this nice montage stuff with Rigby and Zaxxon creating a video game using the device, some training against a bunch of different things, and it's actually pretty enjoyable. I liked it. I like this entire just scene where we get this montage of Rigby training. I enjoyed that a lot, and eventually Zaxxon's like, okay, put on the helmet, and they start the simulation of creating the game, and this is where the episode picks up a lot, because Rigby is just inside of this simulation with all these ants charging him, and he has to get all the way to the birthday cake inside of this simulation in order to create the video game, and he does it. It's intense. I enjoy it. Zaxxon literally dies. Yeah, he's gone forever. He dies right here.
Oh, and Rigby, prove to them that anyone can make a video game, even you!
That's why we don't get any more of him. And Rigby gets all the way to the birthday cake, creates the game, and Zaxxon's actually fine because it's just a simulation. Of course, it's not going to actually kill him. And Rigby goes to give the gift to Mordecai, and Mordecai loves it, even though it's only like 3 seconds long in the real world. I thought that was such a funny way to end the episode.
Whoa, that was awful.
But overall, it's pretty good. It's just a lot of fun. We're finally getting past that point where, like, I just find all these episodes to be dull and boring, and we're actually getting to some good regular show content, and this is a good regular show episode. It has some good funny moments, some good action scenes, and there's a lot to like about it.
Rigby is my friend.
I am Skips, and I have all the answers.
Now, I'm the boss here, so I'm gonna make a decision.
And coming in at number 22, it's going to be the episode The Button, and I think this is how you're supposed to do foreshadowing in a very interesting way that gets you hyped for the future, because a lot of the episodes in Season 7 are all foreshadowing Season 8 and what's going to happen in that season, but this episode actually gets you interested in what's going on with the characters, especially Benson here. It's very interesting to take a look at the psychological effects that the dome experiment had on Benson the first time, and at the beginning of this episode, the dome is randomly back on the park. Everybody's in shock, especially Benson. You just can't believe it.
45-minute drive, but they
Look up.
No.
And that's when Dr. Langer shows up and reveals this button. And all they have to do is not press the button. And Benson is the one who struggles the most with this, because he's dealing with all these trust issues from the initial dome experiment.
Benson, we're your friends! If you push that button, Mailer's gonna... What?
He wants to push it, he doesn't want to push it, it's keeping him up at night, it's freaking him out, and he doesn't understand it. And that's when we get all the way to the climax of the episode, where Benson is just at the button. We get all these visuals of him just struggling mentally. The pun starts talking to him. He starts seeing everybody around him from the park turn into like those fake dome people during the dome experiment. He's just freaking out. He doesn't know if he should or shouldn't push it. We get some good foreshadowing, like with him up in space visually, and we get to see like the park dome in space with like Pops' head. We get to see all these really cool visuals that actually get you excited for what's to come. What does all this mean? I want to know. I want to find out. And that's why I think this is a much better foreshadowing episode compared to the other stuff that we got, which is just like little subtle hints of them talking like here or there. I think this was actually a very interesting episode to not only give us a ton of foreshadowing for the future, but also actually give us some good character stuff, especially for Benson and just like the psychological effects that he went through because of the dome experiment. I enjoyed this one a lot.
What do you like about it?
The bacon? It's warm and crispy and tastes yummy in my tummy.
And coming in at number 21, it's going to be the episode Win That Prize. And oh, jolly good show! Pops is going on Win That Prize because he wants to win that prize. It's a game show. And throughout the entire episode, Pops just keeps, not going on Win That Prize. He just can't get there. And he's just wandering through like this movie lot. And he just keeps like getting introduced on show after show after show. He gets hired. The people just love him. The like show producer literally gives him a big old smooch on his Pops face, and Pops is just like, oh, I don't like this.
Will and Bill? Pops, you're my lucky charm. You're not going anywhere.
This is a bad show. I like the bacon, but I want to go on Win That Prize now. And he just keeps getting promoted and promoted and promoted until he's eventually CEO of the company because he just keeps giving like the most basic ideas ever, but everybody just loves him. And he literally watches the former CEO die in front of his face because TV takes a lot out of you. And if you stay there for more than a day and a half, you'll literally die.
Congrats! You're getting another promotion!
And then we get this actually pretty epic sequence that I don't even know how Pops managed to pull this off, but the way that he escapes from this TV lifestyle is he gets this guy who could make like cosmetics. He gets him to create a fake version of himself to pass out and die, so all of the TV producers believe that he's dead.
Body is definitely fake!
Yeah, some pretty crazy stuff going on, but it turns out that he also made him make a dummy of the guy who was making the like fake Pops so that Pops could pose as the guy and go on Win That Prize. And he goes on Win That Prize, he wins that prize, which is just a gallon of milk, and Pops manages to escape.
Okay, this has all been very nice.
And it's all just a really crazy, like, I don't even know how he plotted all this, but it's just a really crazy scene, a really crazy plan, and overall a pretty entertaining episode. I thought it was pretty crazy. I thought the whole idea of Pops just getting promoted over and over and over again for saying the most basic ideas was actually pretty funny, and that entire end sequence was honestly just pretty epic. It was a crazy plan, it was hard to follow, but I enjoyed it.
But also being the best friends I could ask for. Because of you, every day I come into work, I feel like a true winner.
And coming in at number 20, it's going to be the episode The Parky Awards. And this is another episode that I'm just so thankful that we have, because it's so nice to see everybody care for Benson as a boss and appreciate him as a person, because this episode is all about the Parky Awards. And this is an award show for all of the park managers to come to and get awards for, like the random stuff, but mainly Park Manager of the Year. And Benson loses to Gene. He's heartbroken about this, but all of the park members come together to give him a night that he will never forget, taking him around to do a bunch of fun stuff, treating him like a king, and giving him like just these moments to celebrate. And they eventually sneak back into like the Parky Awards ceremony area and try to give him his moment to have a speech, because they stole Gene's like award, and Benson is going to give a speech holding that award to like act like he won it, to act like the best park manager that he is. And that's when a bunch of ghosts from former park managers who never got to win the award but died early all show up to also give their speech, because they need it really bad. And when they're all done, Benson goes up there to give his speech, and that's when Gene shows up just being a dick, takes the award away, and is like, "You'll never be this, Benson." Benson's heartbroken again, but it turns out everybody from our park made him just this paper mache like version of the award, and he gives his own speech to all of them.
I'd like to thank all of you guys, not just for being the best staff I've worked with, but also being the best friends I could ask for. Because of you, every day I come into work, I feel like a true winner.
And it's really wholesome. It's just a very wholesome episode. It's not the most crazy episode of regular show that you're ever going to watch, but it's just a wholesome episode to watch everybody appreciate Benson for the park manager that he is. And even if like society doesn't see him as the best park manager ever, all of our guys do. And I really enjoy this episode to just appreciate Benson for being such a good character. I love it.
Surprise! I'm taking you
To the conjunction of the moon and Mars up on Lookout Mountain? I know! I'm so excited.
And in 19 is going to be the episode Crazy Fake Plan, and this is another one of those just wholesome episodes. It's all about how Rigby is trying to surprise Eileen, but Eileen can detect a surprise a million miles away, okay? She is able to immediately guess anything that Rigby tries when Rigby is trying to surprise her and do something nice for her.
Surprise! I'm taking you
To the conjunction of the moon and Mars up on Lookout Mountain? I know! I'm so excited.
So he decides that he's going to have this crazy fake plan to just psych Eileen out and make her think all of these different things when none of them actually correlate to each other, just so that Rigby can throw her off the scent and just keep leading her on this random adventure until they eventually get to this giant strawberry in the desert and all this stuff of them just going to all these random things. It's just a very like short sequence in the episode with them going around trying all these different things, but it's just nice to see Rigby just going out of his way to do something so sweet for his girlfriend. I enjoy it a lot. And eventually they end up like going out in the middle of the desert and they get attacked by these biker gang people.
From this guy!
They all put like head masks over them and they're taking them all the way up to this mountain to presumably kill them until it's revealed that it was all part of the crazy fake plan. And Rigby shows Eileen the giant strawberry and she's just so excited. She couldn't believe that Rigby was taking her to see this.
Surprise! I brought you to see a giant strawberry! What?
She can't believe it because of all these terrifying and really sweet things that Rigby was trying to show her before this, and she actually got surprised overall. But it's just a very sweet, wholesome episode for Rigby and Eileen's relationship, and I enjoy it, you know? I like romance episodes where it's just not just like constant drama, constant cringe, constantly watching certain someone pull a Mordecai. It's just some good old-fashioned, you know, casual, like slice-of-life romance stuff that doesn't shove itself down my throat, like making me hate the main characters. It makes me like Rigby more, it makes me like Eileen more, and I enjoy this one a lot. I think it's great for Rigby and Eileen's relationship, even though it's not the craziest episode out there.
What is this flavor I'm tasting? This tang.
Chicken wings, Mr. Ben Pimento.
And coming in at 18, it's going to be the episode Chili Cookoff, and this is just another, you know, grounded, down-to-earth episode of regular show, but I thought it was pretty enjoyable from beginning to end. The episode is all about how Benson wants to win the Chili Cookoff.
Oh, wow.
Benson, this might be the best chili I've ever had. Really?
He has the best chili he could ever imagine, and he's going up against Gene, and he's trying to, like, you know, sabotage Gene, trying to figure out how Gene's chili can taste so amazing. He even breaks into Gene's house, and he had the potential to learn some lore stuff here that was going to say, oh, we're going to send him into space because Gene is apparently a part of this crazy plot, but it turns out that Benson doesn't even remotely notice any of that, and he's just interested in the fact that Gene has these peppers, and it turns out that Gene is growing them, so it's perfectly allowed in the competition. So it's Benson versus Gene in the finale, and Benson uses chicken wings to amplify his chili, and Ben Pimento, the master of chili, the master of beans, tries his chili. He loves it.
What is this flavor I'm tasting? This tang.
Chicken wings, Mr. Ben Pimento.
He loves Gene's, but Benson just manages to pull ahead and get that win, and it's just another Benson win episode. You gotta love it, you gotta like it. It's always good when Benson gets a W. There's a lot to enjoy about it. I laughed at a couple of moments here and there. I think Ben Pimento, the judge of the contest, I thought he was really funny. Just he was like really serious, but just his reactions to the chili were always so good.
Years in the past, but not this year. Benson wins!
I enjoyed it. It's just a pretty good episode. It's really down to earth. It's just a food episode, but you gotta enjoy it. I liked it.
Hi, I'm High Five Ghost. I actually work at the park too. I'm surprised we never ran into each other.
And coming in at number 17, it's going to be the episode Struck by Lightning, and this is an episode that explores Muscle Man and High Five Ghost relationship in a brand new way because it's completely restarted. They're just dancing after playing some football. They hit a little jig, and they're like, whoa, and they high five and get struck by lightning.
You know who else likes to mess around in the rain? My mom!
Which causes their memories of each other to fade away.
Hi, I'm High Five Ghost. I actually work at the park too. I'm surprised we never ran into each other.
They have no idea who each other are, but Muscle Man, he wants to keep this relationship thing going. He wants to be with this guy, not in a romantic way. He wants to be friends with this guy, but High Five Ghost really wants nothing to do with him because he sees a bunch of, like, how their relationship works in the past.
Oh, yeah. Now that is funny.
He sees a bunch of like pictures and videos, and he is not a fan of it. So High Five Ghost kind of just wants to go on with his life, do his own thing, separate from Muscle Man. But Muscle Man just cannot let this stand. He tries to do everything in his power, even making them get struck by lightning again to try to make them friends again, and just none of it works. So Muscle Man just decides that he's going to re-dig up the crash pit. Yes, he brings the crash pit back, and he tries to force High Five Ghost to go down into the crash pit with him so that they will become friends again.
Not on my watch.
And it turns out that Muscle Man saves High Five Ghost in a great way to just, kind of go full circle on how they met the first time in New Bro on campus, with High Five Ghost saving his life. Muscle Man saves High Five Ghost's life. I'm surprised that they chose Muscle Man and High Five Ghost to go with this type of episode, because I thought if they were ever going to do like a memory wipe episode, it would have definitely been Mordecai and Rigby, but they went with Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, and it's pretty enjoyable. There's some good moments here or there. It's good to like explore like Muscle Man's inner desire to be friends with High Five Ghost, and to see High Five Ghost get more of a major role in an episode where he hates that guy, he wants nothing to do with him, but then they just become besties in the end. It's a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. There's a lot to like about it.
You gotta get past the glory days and move on with your life. Focus on the now.
And coming in at number 16 is going to be the episode Jablonsky, and we are continuing with Rigby's high school graduation arc here, and he needs to pass a gym class. The only problem is his teacher is his former high school bully who hates Rigby and hates Rigby a lot. So he's just making Rigby's life a living hell. Rigby tries to do everything he possibly can to get rid of this guy. Nothing's working, and so he eventually challenges him to one thing that he cared the most about in high school: food run. And this is just a competition where you both start at one point and you have to go all the way across town to a restaurant and pick up food and deliver it all the way back to the school first in order to win. And I actually thought this was a lot of fun.
Not so bad here.
Get off my property!
A lot of people didn't really like this episode because they thought it was just kind of dull, like a bunch of other episodes we had, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought food run was a very interesting concept, in the entire like sequence of them just going on this food run, all the unique things that they did with it, like Rigby and Mordecai having speed dial so they were able to do it faster, the homeless guy like trying to get on their car.
You go away! Oh shit, get off my property!
There's just a lot of good stuff here. I enjoyed it a lot. They made a concept of just driving to a fast food restaurant and getting the food pretty fun. Rigby's able to barely scratch out the win against Jablonsky, and Jablonsky passes him in gym. It's a very good episode. It's definitely one that I enjoyed the most out of Rigby's high school arc. It's just very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad that we got this episode in season 7. It just makes Rigby's whole arc of becoming a better person a lot more enjoyable when we get episodes that are just kind of crazy like this.
You don't have the chimichangas!
And coming in at number 15 is the episode Terror Tales Part 5. And Terror Tales was always on a downhill ever since the third one. They just couldn't really knock it out of the park with these episodes. It doesn't mean that they're not entertaining. They're pretty good, but I don't think it really ever captured the magic of the first one or the third one or even the second one. I think all of those ones were really good. It doesn't mean this one is bad. I think there's some good stories just littered in here, but they're just not the best. My favorite one out of all of these has to be Where Pops, where Pops is just in a core room. They're all in a core room. They're doing jury duty, and there's this werewolf, and he just attacks Pops in the bathroom and just turns him into a werewolf, so everybody just makes Pops guilty and he has to run away and they're just getting on a plane. I enjoyed that one a lot. I think it's hilarious. It's definitely one of the best ones out of all of Terror Tales, but just all the other ones are just kind of bland. You have Mr. Boss Man, which is just another ventriloquist dummy that just isn't as good as Percy from the first Terror Tales, just trying to make Mordecai and Rigby work harder, but he tries to take over Benson's life because he's more important than Benson. Yeah, it's really weird. They have to defeat him by chopping his head off with a guillotine. Then you have Going Up, which does not count as a High Five Ghost episode. I don't care what you think. 2 minutes of High Five Ghost having his own arc isn't good enough for me. The episode is all about how High Five Ghost is just in an elevator and it starts just going crazy because the elevator's haunted, and that's pretty much it. He gets dragged into the elevator from the elevator repairman. And the final one is Chocolatitude, where Rigby and Mordecai get turned into chocolate by a chocolate witch, and that's pretty much it. I do like the in-betweens of all of these. Instead of just the normal telling story format, it's like this wish wish master called Racky, and they all have to put their hands on there, and they could actually see the wishes. I thought that was a pretty cool concept, and it has a really funny ending where Racky like tries to steal all of their like stuff, like their TV and stuff, because apparently he was making them all watch the wish so that he would have time to steal all of their stuff. I thought that was pretty funny and a good way to end the episode, but overall all the stories are just, fine. I think they're pretty entertaining. It makes for a good episode, but out of all the terror tales, it's just, it's okay.
I'll get used to it, pal. This is how I look now. I look cool.
And coming in at number 14, it's going to be the episode D's Keys, and this could honestly be a pretty classic episode of Regular Show. There's a lot to like about it. The episode has a pretty good opening with them just walking back to the park. Just the park has the dome on it, so the dome people are there. I feel like I have to preface this because it's not a constant throughout the season, even though it's the majority of the season. Not every single episode the dome is there, but in this episode the dome people are definitely there. They're walking around, and Rigby's just swinging these keys around because they're just bragging about how they stole Benson's car, and Rigby flings Benson's car keys through this like dome laboratory window, and it closes, and so they have to talk to the dome people. They're like, can we please go in there? And they're like, no, as they're eating their like horrible nutritionless like cube things. And Mordecai and Rigby have a pizza, and they get a little whiff of that pizza, so they decided to make a deal that if Mordecai and Rigby go in there and have to like get the keys back, the dome people will help them in exchange for pizza. And I really enjoy like this whole like drug deal that they do for the pizza. It's very drug deal-esque. It was really funny.
You got the stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Trent. Pepperoni.
It was very accurate to like a noob going out on a drug deal. I thought it was really funny. But either way, they do that, and so now it's up to Mordecai and Rigby to break into this lab, avoid Dr. Langer, avoid all the traps, avoid everything, and get those keys back. And we get a lot of good moments in this, like how they initially get into the lab by using a security droid to get to like the door, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna have the security droid go over there and distract the guards for you. And you'd probably think that it would do something like crazy, like malfunction or something. No, the droid just walks up to the dude and just uppercuts him in the stomach. Like, why?
Oh, hey there, H2953. What's going on? Whoa! Easy now. Let's all just...
Why would it do that? But it's so funny. And then eventually Mordecai and Rigby get to the door, and they, in the backpack that they gave them, they give him some fake teeth that he puts in to like chomp down on the sensor to show whose identity it is. And so Rigby puts it in his mouth because he loses the not it. And it's just so funny. I think it's the best joke of the entire episode, because for the next like 2 minutes, Rigby just has the teeth in his mouth. And Mordecai's like, ugh, why do you still have those teeth in your mouth, dude? And he's like, this is the new me, Mordecai. Get used to it. I look cool. It's so funny. It's so good.
I'll get used to it, pal. This is how I look now. I look cool.
And then we just get a bunch of sequences with Mordecai and Rigby just going around doing all these different like traps. The like dome people mess with them a little bit. It's just some good stuff. They eventually get to the keys, and they have to escape, running away like Indiana Jones style from this giant like globe chasing them. They narrowly escape, and Benson is waiting for them outside, and they just confess that they were using his car keys, and Benson's just like, guys, you could just hang on to them for the rest of the day. And then Rigby's like, yeah, and they throw it through the window again. It's just a very good, episode of Regular Show. It just follows the formula of what I like in an episode, just a good solid beginning, and then it just gets more and more crazy as it goes on. It's still a little bit down to earth, even though it's all the dome stuff going on, but I enjoyed it from beginning to end. We got lots of good laughs here, and I think all the like final escape from the like laboratory at the end was also pretty good. It makes for a decent episode.
What are you doing, Applesauce?
And coming in at number 13 is going to be the episode Benson's Pig, and I really love the subversion here because the episode seems like it's going to be very simple. Benson gets a pig named Applesauce, and he asks Mordecai and Rigby to just look after him and take him back to Benson's apartment for just a few hours because Benson's going to be a little bit busy. And of course, things are going to get a little bit chaotic when they're hanging out with Applesauce, and Applesauce ditches them and starts causing chaos in a donut shop. Gets arrested by the police and goes into jail and breaks out a criminal there because apparently Applesauce used to be a part of this crime duo working with this other guy, and they're apparently so good at crime, with Applesauce the pig being the brains and this other guy being the brawn.
What are you doing, Applesauce?
Mordecai?
They were amazing together, so Applesauce had to break him out, and they just go there. They're just hanging out. They're hanging out in Benson's apartment, explaining everything, and this guy is just, he's chaos. He likes to break things. He gets really angry, and he starts trying to break stuff, and Mordecai and Rigby are able to keep Benson's apartment super clean, super nice, until the police show up with like hacky sacks. They're shooting hacky sacks at them. There's a helicopter shooting hacky sacks. Everybody has hacky sacks, and they're all trying to arrest that guy once again, and eventually Applesauce has to let him go so that that guy can go back to jail and Applesauce can live a good life with Benson.
No, Leroy. Just let me go.
Benson shows up and he's like, oh, my apartment's destroyed. And they're like, we need to talk to you about Applesauce. I think it's a really funny episode. I think just this pig being able to do all of these things is honestly just so hilarious. And I always question how animals work in this world because I don't understand why they're so confused that it's a talking pig when Mordecai and Rigby are a talking blue jay and a talking raccoon. Why is it so confusing that Applesauce the pig could also be a smart pig? I don't know where they just draw the line, like how animals work. Like what animal is considered like not deserving of being a pet? When is that line drawn? I don't get it. I don't understand it, but either way, I'm all for it because Applesauce was really funny throughout the entire episode. His crime duo guy was also really funny, and they were just a good combination together, and just Mordecai and Rigby just having to deal with all of it just makes for a pretty good episode with a couple of good laughs. It definitely deserves to be higher up on the list.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but are y'all astronauts?
Well, no.
That's what I thought, normie scum.
And coming in at number 12 is going to be the episode VIP Members Only, and I think this one is a really fun one. It's all about how Mordecai, Rigby, High Five Ghost, and Muscle Man want to become VIP members at Cheezer's because then they can try the pork picnic sandwich, which is only for astronauts or VIPs. And the only thing is, becoming a VIP member is a little bit of a hard task, and this lady's all like, you guys want to be VIPs because you're just normie scum? Well, you have to do this, this, and this.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but are y'all astronauts?
Well, no.
That's what I thought, normie scum.
And it's basically just a bunch of chores with them cleaning literally everything for Cheezer's. And eventually this astronaut approaches them when they're all done with those chores and is all like, you want to be the VIP? Come back here at 2 a.m. And so they go back there at 2 a.m. and they have to fight this ultimate Cheezer's monster that they apparently keep in a basement for some reason. Why does the Cheezer's lore go so deep? Why are they doing this? There's literally hundreds of astronaut corpses down in this pit that they just throw people in to try to make them become VIPs. Yeah, it's very weird, but I enjoyed it a lot. It's these typical regular show shenanigans that I love and that actually make good episodes instead of just focusing on a plot that just leads to another episode. I just love these self-contained stories that are just so much fun, and I really like that High Five Ghost and Muscle Man get some more time to shine here, and just any time that it's Muscle Man, High Five Ghost, and Mordecai and Rigby, it makes for some good fun. And they're just battling this monster. They're eventually able to do it by shooting an American flag up at this railing and dropping it on the dude's head.
Choke on democracy!
And they're able to become VIP members and get that pork picnic sandwich. Very well deserved and a very good episode. We got some good comedy at the beginning with all the, especially the lady that's calling them normie scum. I thought she was pretty funny, and just all of their struggles to get there. And then a pretty good action-packed finale fighting that monster. It's just a pretty classic regular show episode that you could enjoy throughout the entire thing.
Just put the chips down and back away slowly.
And coming in at number 11 is going to be the episode Guys Night 2. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm ranking this episode so high up on the list because it's honestly just so good to see Thomas again. And I know he's not the best character, they barely did anything with him for 2 entire seasons, but just seeing him honestly made me really happy. And I really like this episode. It's just wholesome fun with some good action moments thrown in here and there. You just gotta love it. The episode starts with just this random guy inside of this bank getting attacked by all of these different agents. He's fighting them. It's a really cool opening to the episode. And then this guy shows up at the park, opens the door, says he has free pizza, and he just shoves his way in, and it's revealed that it's Thomas once again.
Ugh, I hate it when old guys do that.
Don't worry, it's just me.
Everybody's super excited to see him, and they're all going to take him on one guy's night before he has to go to this rendezvous point where he'll finally be free because he betrayed both countries, so he's got to go somewhere where he could be free, and it's really enjoyable just to see them hang out, having a good time. It's just wholesome fun. I always love the guy's night vibe. It's just so awesome to see. I love it. It's good that Thomas actually got to participate in one at first, because the flashback that they show of his last guy's night, man, were they assholes to Thomas. It just sucks.
Just put the chips down and back away slowly.
But it's just honestly really wholesome. It's good fun. And then we get to the action part of the episode where they go out to Win Kingdom. They're just having a good time, talking it up. And that's when the agents show up once again to try and kill or capture Thomas or whatever they need to do to him. And we get this awesome cart chase where Thomas takes over Pops' car and is just driving to the rendezvous point. It's awesome. It's a great chase scene. They eventually get all the way to this tunnel, and they're running through, and Thomas goes to try and jump onto the rendezvous train, and he misses and just falls into the abyss, and they all act like he's dead. Eventually it's revealed that he was just getting on a submarine down in the bottom of this lake, and that was the actual rendezvous point, and Thomas is free.
Now I am truly free! Thank you all!
They gave their buddy one final really good night before he got to go and be free away from all of these people constantly pursuing them, and it's really wholesome. It's really enjoyable. I love it. It's a great episode beginning to end. Has so many just great moments for all of our characters getting some time to shine, some great action moments, and it's definitely one of the best. I think one of the funniest parts of the episode is during the chase scene. It's like, you know, that like cliche where it's two people carrying a glass plane and just they are gonna hit it, and it's just crazy because they're for some reason carrying a glass pane across a like crosswalk. They do that, and Rigby's like panicking because they're about to hit it, and it turns out that they're not about to hit it at all, and he's just going like because Eileen sent him a text about a dog. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Whoa, a car chase!
I can't believe I missed this text from Eileen!
Everything else is just really good. It's really solid, and it's a very wholesome episode. I enjoyed it a lot. Definitely deserves to be this high up.
Meat, cheeks, and Jeff!
And coming in at number 10 is going to be the episode Marvolo the Wizard. And this episode plays on how naive Pops is so well, because Pops is just awakened during a Ren Fair, except he doesn't understand that it's a Ren Fair, and everybody in the park is just acting like, you know, Benson is a mad king, Rigby and Mordecai are Mordicus and Rignatius, Muscleman and High Five Ghost are struggling with this a lot because they don't want to participate at all, but either way, they're having a Ren Fair, and Pops doesn't know that it's actually a Ren Fair. He thinks he's traveled back in time, and so he's just distraught. He's running around crying. He's freaking out. And I really like that Benson just talks in like this way, like, if ye talk in normality, ye shall be extruded away, fired. And I enjoy it so much. I just like that everybody has to stay in character or they're going to be fired. I love this episode. It's so funny for that reason.
What doth thou mean you lost him?
And you just have Pops running around getting in a bunch of shenanigans just because he doesn't understand that it's real, and eventually he gets knocked out when he's running away from everybody, and he wakes up as Marvolo the Wizard. He even talks to himself in this mirror, and he convinces himself literally that he is Marvolo because he's talking to Marvolo in the mirror. Yeah, it's super weird, and he has to go and fight this dragon, this like dragon animatronic. Yes, Benson went all out for this Ren Fair, and Mordecai and Rigby of course mess it up a little bit by dropping it into some food, and the dragon starts going crazy and just starts destroying literally everything. And it's wreaking havoc everywhere, and Pops thinks that he is able to defeat it when a tower literally collapses onto it, and then just a beam hits Pops, and Pops wakes up and everybody's normal, and he's like, oh, wow, that was crazy. I traveled back in time. And overall, I just think this episode's a lot of fun. It's just really awesome to see Pops in a situation that just plays on how naive he is so well, because Pops is the type of character that would be the one to not understand that he's literally in a Ren Fair, even when all the other characters are just like constantly like hinting at the fact that he's not actually in the past, but Pops, of course, is just too oblivious to the world, and I just enjoy it a lot. It's the best aspect of his character, and they use his character really well in this episode. That's why I'm going to rank it all the way up at number 10.
All-nighter, all-nighter, all-nighter.
And coming in at number 9, it's going to be the episode Sleep Cycle, and for all of the bad episodes that we got in the season, all the ones that are just really dull and boring, I will say that there are a couple that do feel like classic regular show and really good experiences, and this is definitely one of those episodes because I love the opening of it, where Mordecai and Rigby are just sitting there watching a Morales and McCree marathon for 3 days straight.
But he's
Scottish. You got a problem with that?
We'll be back for the rest of our Morales and McCready marathon after this.
All-nighter, all-nighter, all-nighter.
And they'll just watch it all night and then sleep all day, and then watch it all night and sleep all day, and then watch it all night and sleep all day, and just in time for Benson to just show up and be all like, yeah, it's going to be pretty bad for them.
Looks like some guys I know are excited for the Monday morning meeting.
What? Monday?
So they end up just like listening to the morning meeting, and they fall asleep sitting on the stairs, and they just sleep away, and they realize that this is going to be a very bad problem if they're just constantly sleeping during the day and can't get any work done. They even get Muscle Man to try and help them with some coffee, and I honestly thought that we were going to get the return of the coffee bean, but no, we just get this guy with honestly a pretty funny introduction.
When's that guy gonna get here?
You Mordecai and Rigby?
Yeah, he shows up and he hands them some coffee. They drink it, and it has magical powers. We get a little coffee montage. Obviously not as good as like caffeinated concert tickets in season 1, but I still enjoyed it. It was pretty solid. And they realize that this coffee is just too good because it keeps them up all night, and by the time that they're actually tired, it's daylight again. And so they have to go to Skips to get some help, and Skips is all like, let's go to Gary, and they go to the Sentinels of Sleep, a place where you're able to reset your sleep schedule, and there's this guy Apollo and this guy Coco, and upon hearing the name Coco, Rigby just loses his shit because it's just that funny.
Meet Apollo and Coco.
Coco? What kind of name is that?
Coco! And Coco doesn't take too kindly to this because it's a family name. And so he's going to make Mordecai and Rigby do the sleep cycle course in order to reset their sleep schedule. And this entire ending scene with them doing this awesome course is honestly really fun, and honestly kind of gave me like Mario Kart vibes in a way.
Hey, it must be a power-up.
No!
It's just Mordecai and Rigby on these like sleep bikes, and they have to race all the way into the end and catch the sun in order to reset their sleep schedule, and they could get like power-ups, they could do all this stuff. It's just a lot of fun. It's really enjoyable. Coco even wants to watch them die, and they do almost die at certain points, but they're able to make it, touch that sun, and reset their sleep schedule, and it's just pretty solid. It's pretty good. They go back home, and they're like, wow, I can't believe we did that. Thanks, Skips. And they see that there's going to be another marathon, and Skips just punches the TV and destroys it. Really good ending, really good episode. I just enjoyed it. It's just a lot of fun. The beginning is just classic regular show with such a like down-to-earth thing. Like everybody's probably stayed up watching a marathon at some point in their life, just, you know, addicted to it. Maybe everybody watching this video at some point has had a really shitty sleep schedule. I know I have. I used to stay up until 5 and then sleep till like 3 or 4 and then wake up and do the same exact thing because it's just horrendous. But either way, everybody gets over that, and everybody has to find unique ways to get over that, and the way Mordecai and Rigby do it is a lot of fun and makes for a really good episode.
No second chances.
And coming in at number 8, it's going to be the episode California King, and immediately I have to point out the fact that this episode is obviously a tribute to David Bowie, who I think tragically passed away at the same time around this episode coming out, or just around, like, you know, the time frame that this episode came out, because this is definitely a tribute to David Bowie, because, I mean, the main villain of this episode is Ziggy, as in, like, Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie's stage name, so you gotta love that, and then, like, the main plotline of going to the dump, all of that stuff that happens there is a reference to the movie The Labyrinth, so it's just so many references that relate to David Bowie, and you gotta love it. I just can appreciate it a lot, and it just adds to the enjoyment of the episode, that's for sure. The episode has a great opening with Rigby getting a brand new bed and just outcasting Trampy. He's done with that stupid kitty trampoline, and he has this giant bed that takes up the majority of Mordecai in his room, and he hates it. He's just struggling all night, he can't sleep, and he realizes that he needs Trampy back. He tries to chase him, but no second chances. Ziggy drives away with it anyway, so they have to go to the dump dump and try to get it back. And we get a lot of good scenes here with them just like going around. They meet Corny, just this little talking can of corn. They go into this like frozen TV area, and this guy just reveals the riddle right away, so they're able to escape. And then we just get a montage of them doing a bunch of different things. And I honestly kind of wish that this episode was maybe like a special, like Rigby's new bed special or the California special, because I feel like if this was a like 22-minute long episode, we would have actually gotten a lot more riddles, a lot more time in this dump, because I mean, I don't know, I just feel like it could have been a lot more enjoyable if they would have like stuck to it for a while, because the entire montage of them getting all the way up to Ziggy just felt a little bit rushed to me. It was only like 2 minutes long of all the trials that they faced, and I kind of wish that all of those trials were actual scenes in the episode. But hey, I'm just being a little nitpicky here. It's still very enjoyable. They eventually get all the way up to Ziggy, and Rigby has to challenge him and do this like trampoline jumping hop thing to get all the way to the finish line before Ziggy to win Trampy back. And Rigby is just a monster here. He's just dominating. Even though Ziggy is literally able to control everything with his mind, Rigby is able to avoid everything he throws at him, literally jumping through fire.
What's
and gets to the finish line and is able to get Trampy back after Corny drops onto Ziggy's head. Yeah, it's just really solid, pretty good episode. Corny even gets a happy ending because he gets to be recycled. You gotta love it, you gotta enjoy it, and it's a great tribute to just David Bowie and all the stuff that he did in his life. I just love it. It's just a very solid episode.
Do you really want to have flown halfway around the world only to find out you're always going to be the same no matter where you go?
And coming in at number 7 is going to be the episode Hello China. And this episode is also amazing, not only for Rigby's progression in his character arc of becoming a better person, but it's also a really good episode for Benson as well, because the episode is all about how Benson is going to go to China and teach English to some Chinese students. Really wholesome. He wants to go around the world and find a new version of himself and just see if he could be a good teacher. It's a great arc for Benson, great idea for Benson, and I really like the plot that we got started here. Benson goes there, and Rigby decides that he's going to literally hide in his luggage. Yeah, pretty crazy for a guy that usually says that he's claustrophobic. I don't know how he was able to do that. But either way, Benson shows up there, and Rigby is now in his class, and Rigby starts teaching all of the Chinese students slang instead of actual English, which pisses Benson off pretty reasonably, and they also start just making fun of Benson for not having a girlfriend.
What about you, Mr. Benson?
Well, I'm not really officially seeing anyone right now.
What?
Well, more questioning, but it makes Benson feel bad about himself, and so Benson is just struggling. He's just struggling with this whole concept that Rigby is here and ruining everything, because he doesn't want to have flown halfway across the world to just be the same person. He even has a heart-to-heart with Rigby that he just doesn't want to be the same guy. He doesn't want to go around the world to find out that he's only going to be the same wherever he goes.
Do you really want to have flown halfway around the world only to find out you're always going to be the same no matter where you go?
He wanted to have an adventure. He wanted to find a new version of himself. And so Rigby and Apple, one of the Chinese students there, decide that they need to pull an all-nighter and help Benson, because Benson is just trying to help them. And there's a big showcase at the end of the year to showcase everything that everybody has learned from the English class. And so Rigby, Apple, and all of the other students come together to sing this honestly pretty good rap about slang and about English and about grammar and all this good stuff.
Our history, you see, is study only for a test. No biggie, but like a music, no, we need a rest. Slang is I, my straight up chillin', swagger, skillin', street talk, and it's tight.
It shocks Benson, it shocks the principal, it shocks everybody, because it's honestly just so good. It's one of the best like mini songs in all of regular show. You have to enjoy it. Great visuals, great singing.
So dear Benson, here's a letter where with it we bust out.
Bust out!
Informal language living.
Lao sure, you lao chic.
Yo, don't be stressing ticks.
We'll help you get a book, cause we know some adult chicks.
And Benson gets a win here, Rigby gets a win here. It's just honestly a wholesome episode, and I just enjoy it a lot. That's why I'm gonna rank it this high up.
So, Mord, how's your mom been?
Incredibly married.
Still?
And coming in at number 6, it's going to be the episode Donut Factory Holiday. And I'm not going to lie to you, this episode is literally all over the place, but it just has joke after joke after joke about a bunch of different things, and they all hit you at the same time or at different times. It doesn't matter what time it hits you, because it's all so funny. The episode starts with them just watching a cheesy movie that is so cheesy that they just make it a day out of just watching it because it's just that horrible, but that's why it's good. It's one of those movies that is so good because it's so bad. They just love it, and they eventually get a call that they have to take it back to the store because there's people waiting for it, so they go to take it out of the VCR, and, it's stuck in there. It's stuck really bad, so they try to do everything they possibly can to get it out of there, and Rigby sticks his hand inside of it and gets his hand stuck inside of the VCR tape. And so they like are trying to get him out of there, and they just punch him into the wall, and he just goes flying, and is just left there like, ugh. It's so funny.
Not coming out.
I got this.
Why would they do that to this poor guy? But either way, he's stuck in there, so they call the place, and they're all like, how much would it cost to just replace the tape? Same as the budget of the movie, $200. And just in regular show fashion, of course they can't afford something that's $200. There's no possible way, so they have to try to come up with a way to get Rigby out of there by doing anything they possibly can. They even go to Eileen, and they're like, Eileen, Rigby's in trouble, we need your help. You may never see him again. And Eileen is like, what, is he dying? And then just sees the VCR stuck on his hand.
Guys, what's going on?
Rigby needs your help.
No time to explain.
Is he hurt? Oh.
And her reaction is just priceless because she's just so done with all of this shit. And even Eileen can't get him out of this VCR. So they eventually have to go to this like random repair shop, which was just so out of the blue. And the guy that works there, his only joke is just, hey, Mordecai, is your mom still married? Is she still married, Mordecai? I need her, Mordecai. Oh, God, I wish she wasn't married.
So, Mord, how's your mom been?
Incredibly married.
Still? Did you know Mordecai's mom and I used to date?
And that's just what he's saying the entire time, and he can't even get Rigby free. So they eventually just go to the VHS place, and they're all like, hey man, we can't get him out of there, so what do we do about that? And he's like, okay, I'll just cut his arm off. And so they obviously start to run away, and that's when the tape hunter starts chasing them, and they're able to evade the tape hunter, and they're able to just get flung into this wall, and the VCR goes flying. Rigby is free, but he was still hanging onto the tape, and the VCR is broken, but they got the tape back, and they just saved the day. These guys that were waiting for it get it back. They're hyped, they're excited, and overall it's just a really fun episode. There's so many random jokes in it, and it honestly feels like it just goes from scene to scene to scene, but there's just a lot to like about it. All the jokes usually hit. High Five Ghost even gets a lot of time to shine here, even as a joke.
Fives, how much time do we have? Am I the only one with a watch, or we can still make it if we hurry?
How surprising is that in season 7? High Five Ghost getting a joke of his own? You gotta love it, you gotta enjoy it, and all the characters get to shine. It's just nice having Mordecai, Rigby, Muscleman, and High Five Ghost going on a silly, wacky, just classic regular show adventure, even if the plot is just kind of all over the place. You enjoy it.
It's my car! It's the most important thing to me! Where's Rigby?
And coming in at number 5, it's going to be the episode Rigby Goes to Prom. And this might not be the craziest episode in all of regular show, but I just cannot deny how important this is to Rigby's overall development as a character, and how much it means for Rigby's character to finally fix the relationship with his father. Because this episode is all about Rigby asking Eileen to go to prom with him. And it's just one thing, he wants to borrow his dad's car to just give Eileen the best prom ever and take her out on a very good night. So Rigby goes to his parents' house to ask for the car, and his dad just treats him like shit. It's just constant metaphors about how, I wish you could be like your brother. Why aren't you like your brother Don? Why aren't you like him at all? And it's just, you feel so bad for Rigby, because you could definitely tell from all the episodes where Rigby has just been a horrible person that it's probably because his father just hated him throughout his entire life and never believed that he could do anything. And it's just shown very clearly throughout the entire episode that his father doesn't appreciate his son at all. Even when Sherm, that's Rigby's dad's name, is just talking to his mom literally about the TV not working, he's literally saying a metaphor about how, why can't you work, you stupid TV, like your older big brother downstairs. Yeah, it's really messed up.
Darn tiny TV! Can't fix it! Why can't you be more like your brother, the big TV downstairs?
But his dad just doesn't even remotely like his son at all. Luckily, Rigby's mom is a much nicer person and lets Rigby borrow the car anyway without letting the dad know. So Rigby and Eileen go to prom, they're having an amazing time, and they eventually go up to this mountain to hang out with these other high school kids and just have a good time up there. And Rigby's dad finds out that the car is missing and just goes to the prom and starts crashing out viciously, just running around in his underwear screaming, and it's so goddamn funny.
It's my car! It's the most important thing to me! Where's Rigby?
I don't even know why. I guess it's just him just running around like, I'm his father! Where is he? Where's Rigby? Just running around everywhere, and he eventually gets told where Rigby went. He goes up there, and he just demands that Rigby come with him. He takes the car back, and he is just hammering into Rigby about just being a horrible person, about how he's gonna ruin Eileen now, just overstepping his boundaries in every way.
And now you found someone new to mess up their life too! What?
Just not seeing that Rigby has been becoming a better person, and that's until he accidentally drives over the edge, and it's up to Rigby to save the day by just doing what he does best in these crazy situations and driving the car and saving all of their lives. And I will admit, the ending where just Rigby's father is just immediately like, wow, son, I'm sorry, are you okay? I now love you, does feel a bit rushed, does feel a bit just out of nowhere for his dad to just switch up just like that, just because Rigby's able to drive a car down a mountain really good. It does feel a little bit rushed, but I'm not going to complain about Rigby fixing his relationship with his father and getting a lot of development for his character and showing his father that he is actually a person that can be trusted, that can be relied on, and has grown. I just enjoy it a lot, and I think this is one of the best episodes in the entire series for Rigby's development and his overall character arc. That's why I'm going to rank it this high up, even though it may not be the craziest episode in regular show.
Got the date wrong? But I'm me, Benson.
And coming in at number 4, it's going to be the episode The Dome Experiment. Dome, 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 dome. And this is mainly a Benson episode because the episode is all about how during the morning meeting, Benson is saying how everybody has to leave the park because there's going to be a dome experiment where some rich people are going to put a dome on the park to study the park life. Benson's all like, yeah, you guys gotta leave. It's not really my problem. But as he's saying that, the dome starts just coming down onto the park while they're all still inside. Benson isn't shocked by this. They all try to run and make it out, but they are locked in there, and they are going to have to stay in there for 30 days. Everybody else is starting to worry about how they're going to survive, but Benson is just worried about how in his email it said that it was going to be on a different day. How could he possibly be wrong about his P-mail? It makes no sense. He catalogs it, he organizes it, he puts it all in order from date. How could he be wrong?
Got the date wrong? But I'm me, Benson.
He can't believe it, so this makes Benson go a little bit crazy. He runs off into the forest to deal with things on his own and leaves everybody else to fend for themselves. And it's actually really enjoyable to see that the character that becomes a de facto leader when Benson isn't there is High Five Ghost. I enjoyed that a lot because he basically becomes the one in charge, telling everybody like how to deal with things, telling them to farm, telling them to enjoy themselves, and basically just forming a little community with some hard workers, all thanks to High Five Ghost becoming the de facto leader. I enjoyed that a lot.
Actually, we're on break.
Hey guys, I appreciate you putting in the hours earlier. I know getting up at dawn isn't easy, but those latrines are looking tip-top.
You know, again, they refuse to give us another High Five Ghost episode, but hey, at least we get him becoming a leader when Benson is not there. I enjoy that. And Benson is just out in the forest going a little bit crazy, dealing with all these dome guys. He eventually gets captured by them. They try to learn a lot. Benson is...
Sir? What did you call me?
It just starts going more and more crazy. He just even grows his hair back because I guess him living out in the forest means he's not stressed, so he could have hair again. He gets a bandana. He starts training with a bow and arrow. He befriends a hawk. He has a hawk friend named Antares. Yeah, he becomes a badass.
I'm ready. Dome, 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 dome.
And he eventually goes back to all the other guys, and Benson finds out that they're all trying to study them after the kidnapping, and after he learns that they were just trying to pretend to be all the other guys to get information from him. Yeah, it's really crazy. So Benson finds them, and he tells them all that we need to get out of here now because they're studying us, and it's super weird. So we get this awesome chase scene between all the Dome guys and Benson trying to get everybody out there. It's just really cool fighting against Dr. Dome, trying to get out of there, and they eventually destroy the dome, escape, and it's all so cool. It makes Benson look so badass, and it's definitely one of the better regular show specials. It's definitely action-packed, and I really like that they decided to focus on Benson for this one, because it's just 22 minutes of Benson acting a little bit crazy with some good comedy here and there, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Definitely deserves to be this high up for season 7.
Billions of people all over the world, overcoming obstacles, inspiring other people!
And And coming in at number 3, it's going to be the episode Rigby's Graduation Day Special, the ultimate climax to all of the stuff that Rigby is doing this entire season to get his high school diploma. But it turns out him being, 26 years old and going back to high school and doing all this stuff was inspiring enough for Inspire America to come to Rigby and say that he has to give a speech in front of all of America on TV about his trials and why he's doing this and inspire all of America. And that's going to be the plot for the entire episode. Rigby struggling to come up with the ultimate speech to inspire everybody trying to help them. And then we have this side plot of Mordecai just being a dick, the only downside of this entire episode, where he's just like, oh, Rigby, I hate you. Oh, you're better than me. Oh, I haven't done anything in the past 10 years and it's all your fault because, oh my God. So Mordecai's just being, sassy. He's being horrible the entire episode. He doesn't want to do anything for Rigby, but everybody else is trying to help celebrate for Rigby's big day, trying to get it all ready. Everybody is super excited for him, except for Mordecai.
I mean, graduating from high school is like the least a person can accomplish. But it's a big deal for Rigby. I can't believe I have to explain this to him.
He's your best friend, dude.
So Rigby's just struggling with all that. Mordecai's going out to this coffee express store really far because he's still trying to do something for Rigby because everybody else told him to. And Rigby's just struggling immensely until we actually get to the moment where Rigby's going to give his speech and he's just bombing.
Prepare to get Rigby to America!
And Mordecai shows up to give him this old speech about why he's been such a dick, and he's all like, I just can't stand the fact that you're growing and I'm staying the same.
I guess I always kind of liked that I was doing better than you before.
That does sound really messed up.
And yeah, it's just really annoying. I don't really like that part. But then Rigby actually does go out there after this conversation with Mordecai that motivates him a little bit and gives a actual really good speech that motivates America, gets everybody hyped, and I actually enjoy it a lot. If you're ever feeling down and feeling not motivated, watch this speech. It actually works on many levels and you could actually apply it to your own life, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's really good because once you do the hard things, they're not hard anymore because you've already done that.
I did these things for myself, not to impress anyone, but because I'm surrounded by impressive people.
And yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. And then we get that awesome climactic season finale level shit where they all get paged back to the park. They go there and it's time to press the button. They press it and they all get launched into space as we prepare for season 8.
What? I had a date.
And this was a crazy season finale at the time. I was so hyped. I was so excited because this was just honestly so epic. And Rigby's Graduation Day Special, although it has its flaws, mainly with just Mordecai, I still think it's a great conclusion to Rigby's arc of going back to high school. That speech really encapsulated everything that he's been going through. It's motivating. It's good. We had a good climax at the end there. And overall, it makes for a pretty good special and a pretty good episode. Definitely deserves the number 3 spot.
I'm expected to be a clown, so I'm a clown. But clowns cry too, man. Clowns cry too.
And coming in at number 2 on this list is going to be the episode The Lunch Club. And I like this episode a lot just for all of the character stuff that we get to learn here. But also, I mean, it's a reference to the Breakfast Club, so that's always good to see. And it's just so good. The episode has a really funny opening with Rigby literally destroying $1 million sheet cake with a lawnmower, just running it over. And Benson's losing it. Rigby's just asleep on top of the mower. It's so funny. And so Mr. Maillard locks them in a room together, and either Rigby or Benson have to write a letter of resignation. One of them has to do it, or they're both fired and they have until the end of the day. And this is where we just get so much good character stuff. Rigby wants to eat some cold wings, and so Benson's like, hell no. They start crawling through the vents so Benson can microwave them, and he starts singing, microwave wings, mix them slow. Benson eats alone, Benson eats alone. It's so good. It's so funny.
Benson's on his own again, don't you know? Benson eats alone. Benson eats alone.
We get so many great reactions, especially from Rigby. Mr. Maillard and Pop show up, and they're barely able to escape, and I mean barely. They get back there, and that's when we get some Rigby and Benson bonding. They're just dancing together, pretending the floor is lava, becoming just more than co-workers, it feels like, for the first time in the series. I mean, I know they have their moments, but this is where they really feel like friends to me. I don't know why. I enjoy it so much. And then they're just laying on the floor, just talking about their lives, how Rigby just always is the clown because his family always expected him to act like that, because he was always in Don's shadow. His father never believed in him. And then we get the side from Benson, who was just, you know, not feeling like he enjoyed his life because he wanted to be a drummer. He went all in, and then the band kicked him out, and his dad just never believed in him either. We just get to see moments of them talking about their fears, talking about their anxieties, and actually bonding as people instead of just coworkers. And it's just one of the realest scenes that we get in all of regular show. And just seeing that from Rigby, hearing all of that from Benson, it just makes the episode all the better to actually get to understand the characters. And this is the stuff that I enjoy from season 7, just progressing our characters, getting them ready to be their final versions for season 8, and just letting us know our characters in a deeper way that we don't usually get to see. And I think that's why I like it so much. The episode ends with them writing a letter, just shitting on Mr. Maylard, making fun of him, saying that they both quit, and Pops reads it in a super nice way, so Mr. Maylard hires them both. But it's just so good. I love it so much, and it definitely deserves to be at the number 2 spot. And coming in at number 1 on this list, the best episode in regular show season 7 has to be the episode Gary's Synthesizer. And you're probably thinking, what? A side character as the main character is getting the best episode in the entire season? Yes, it is, because it's just that epic. I've always wanted our side characters in regular show, like Gary, like Death, like Basketball God even, like Tecmo, like the babies, to get their full time to shine, to show us what they are made of, and to show us why they maybe could have had their own spin-off, why they could have been one of the main characters of the cast. And Gary is shown that in such a epic episode. The episode is all about how Mordecai and Rigby mess with Gary's synthesizer and put it all out of whack, and it makes Gary vanish from existence. So Mordecai and Rigby and Skips all have to travel to the planet Synthos, and there is their ruler there, their king, David, who believes that there could be nothing discord in their perfect society. They all have to play some beautiful harmonic notes that never have anything discord about them. He's a tyrannical ruler. He took over Synthos, and everybody there is kind of like just sick of it. They want to be able to play their own music. They want to be able to have their own vibe, but David will not allow this. We even see like these people trying to have their own music. They get put in jail, and Mordecai, Rigby, and Skips also get thrown in jail when David learns that they're trying to bring Gary back. And this leads to Gary's triumphant return when they're able to escape and correctly like fix Gary's synthesizer. Gary returns, and that's when we get one of the most epic battles in all of regular show, Gary versus David. The music here, it could just honestly open you up to an entirely new genre of music and make you fall in love with that, because it's so epic, it's so cool. That piano from David, that keyboard just mixing with Gary's synthesizer and all the synth waves, and just the visuals are stunning. All of the music is incredible. It's just one of the best sequences in the entire show. There's just so much to love about it, with all of Gary's like notes flying at David, David's lasers flying at Gary, and again, just the music just makes this scene that much better. Their music is like clashing, because obviously David's is going to be more harmonic, less discord, and then Gary's is going to be like freeballing it. But just the way that they combine to make this just beautiful song just together in this ultimate battle is just so amazing and so incredible, and it makes for one of the coolest episodes in all of regular show. Gary is able to defeat David by sending him into this platform and sending him up into the center of a star, into the center of Synthos, killing David, and one of the most epic conclusions to a fight that I've ever seen in the entire show.
Launch resumed.
Thank you.
And it's just so perfect. It just highlights everything that you love about a regular show episode, just starting it off normal, just building up to this crazier and crazier concept, and giving us a finale that we will be sure to remember. And I constantly have in all of my comment sections, anytime I talk about songs, Gary Synthesizer, Gary Synthesizer. What about Gary Synthesizer song? When are you going to talk more about Gary Synthesizer? Because it's just that good. In a season that honestly has a lot of dull episodes, you can always rely on this episode to hit every single time and just make your ears just spark up with wonder and excitement when you hear this incredible song, and it just gives you one of the best episodes in all of regular show, and it is definitely the best episode of season 7. I just realized that I forgot to record an outro, so this isn't going to have a face cam, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I have plenty of good content on the way about regular show, SpongeBob, Amazing World of Gumball, Adventure Time, all of those good shows that I know you love and you don't want to miss. And don't forget, if I get to 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to be cosplaying as Benson and drinking the Mississippi Queen. So yeah, so very exciting stuff coming on the way. Really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.